age career opportunities. We start this session with our humble regards to Mr. S.K. Birla, President of Specialisation Foundation, Board of Governors, Honorable Trustees, Core Committee members of CBS, especially Mrs. Prathiti Bhattacharya, Secretary General and CEO of Specialisation Foundation, and Mr. Sir Ghosh, Advisor of Specialisation Foundation. We are honored to have the kind presence of Dr. Vijay Nimbalkar, Principal of Calcutta Business School, and Mrs. Swati Nandita, Assistant Principal, South City International School. So Professor Sanjeev Biswas and Mrs. Bhavya Biswas will be jointly conducting the session today. I will be introducing them shortly. And I now invite Principal Sir to please deliver the welcome address.
Thank you. It is really an honor to welcome Madam Dutt, South City International School Assistant Principal, dear students, for this webinar on new age career opportunities, wherein we can address students. I also welcome our very own Professor Shwendu, Dr. Shwendu sir, Professor Sanjeev and Ms. Pragya. As Sanjeev sir and Ms. Pragya both are present, so they are the best people who can talk to students about the entire curriculum, pedagogy, at the same time, the placements. And I look forward to this particular session, which would encourage and enrich students to take their career to new heights. So I welcome each one of you to this particular session. And I hand it over again to Madhusri ma'am, to you, so take it forward. You will have to kindly excuse me as I'll be leaving this meeting, as I have to go to the AICTE office. So I beg your pardon. Thank you and welcome all once again.
Yes, thank you, sir. So since Bhakti ma'am has not joined, I would request Swati ma'am to please say a few words and address the students, and thereafter we will be going
Madam, let me proceed through this. You introduce Swati ma'am, and let me proceed to in this way that I just communicated to her. So in between,
right.
Okay.
Right, sir. So today's sessions will be conducted by Professor Sanjeev Biswas. He is Assistant Professor at Calcutta Business School and has over 18 years of industry and faculty experience. And Mrs. Pragya Biswas, Chief Placement Officer, Calcutta Business School, and she has over 12 years of placement experience. And ma'am, of course, the students are aware, is the Assistant Principal of South City International School. We really hope she is not the strict principal that all the kids are scared of. And I hand over the session to you, sir, and we can conduct it. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Madhusri, for introducing ourselves. First of all, on behalf of Calcutta Business School, I extend warm welcome and our sincere thanks to Principal Ma'am, Professor Swati Nandita, South City International School, for attending or for allowing us to listen to her expert deliberations despite her busy schedule. And today, I also welcome my co-panelist, Pragya Biswas, who is the Chief Placement Officer of Calcutta Business School. I welcome to all my faculty colleagues who are either joined as an attendee or watching this this session over YouTube or Facebook social media. And to begin with, I express our sincere thanks and gratitude to our core committee members who are really motivating us to organize such kind of sessions for the cause of imparting or propagating education, or for the social cause. These kind of sessions we often organize. Now, coming back to today's session, the topic is new age career opportunities. It's a very apt and very pertinent topic that requires special attention and expert deliberation. At this moment, when we are organizing this webinar, from the days of organizing seminar, that we have witnessed two things in the world. One is the very recent incident of COVID-19, the small time virus has threatened the entire world, has changed the landscape of operation, landscape of perception, the landscape of entire landscape of our well-being. And at the same time, since 2011, we have been witnessing massive developments in the information and communication technology. In a formal language, we are now in the industry 4.0, wherein cyber physical operation is a common thing today. Smart operation is a very common thing today. And we are heading towards society 5.0, where the focus is on giving back the utilities of technology to the society. So at this juncture, it would have been very good other than Madam is present here. So to begin with, I would ask Professor that 2 years back, we were in a complete normalcy. We used to have a certain setup, certain mindset, and certain way of learning and certain way of operating. Now, the previous 2 years has changed the entire landscape. Now, again, we are heading towards, or we are in the normal, but which is a now normal. So given this transition, as a reputed educator, how would you see at this transition from the point of view of parents, from the point of view of the children? So this is my first question to you.
Right, thank you. First of all, let me thank Calcutta Business School for having me here. Professor Sanjeev Biswas, there is just one minor correction. I'm not the principal, I'm the assistant principal of South City International School. Yes, when we are looking at the change which came, nobody actually thought that the change would take so long. Okay. Everybody thought that, okay, 6 weeks lockdown and we will again go back to school. Nobody imagined that school will be shut for so many children for so long. Therefore, when actually it was our principals who actually thought it out and said that this is pandemic, it's not endemic. And he said that we have to start thinking of new ways. And one fine day, we get a schedule where we are to actually do things online. And that was our beginning. And let me tell you, I was the one who was, I think, at that time, technologically, the most incompetent person. I always make this as I always quote this as an example because I always have to thank somebody, and that is my principal, who actually made me get out of that, little shell that I had of being very content with thinking that I know everything, to what he made me actually today. If I'm sitting in front of you and logging in, well, I learned it all one day when all of a sudden I got a message saying, there is a Zoom meeting at 3:15. It was 9 o'clock in the morning. And I said, what is Zoom? So I called up my, all my people and I said, how do I get in? Mind you, and I don't feel bad to say about it, from 9:15 in the morning till 12:15, I was at Zoom. I got locked out of my Apple phone 3 times because they said you're giving the wrong data. Finally, I managed it. And that is what began my first journey in this digital world. And today I can say, yes, I feel proud that my principal actually put a particular challenge on me. Now, those who accepted the challenge of pandemic made the transition faster, I would say. They didn't have so many questions to ask because they knew that time was running out and you needed to change. And I followed one policy and one principle of my own dear principle, which says change is the only constant factor. Keeping that in mind, yes, we did bring in a change. Every teacher taught the other, if she didn't know, how to actually book classes online. Okay. We then shared this information with our parents. We had, with pandemic, there was no time limit for anything. Parents also cooperated. That was the beauty. And thus began, within 10 days, our digital learning system. It began then, it continued, and now also because of the new, government regulations which have come in, for the last week, we've gone back and with ease to actually doing classes online. And that has become a part and parcel of our lives. We can make the change when we want to, when it is desired of us, and we can also go back to actually going back to physical classes. Now, if you ask me, what was the change and how did it affect children? Yes, there's a big long thing about how it affected children. Children initially were very excited. Some of them also tried to pay thanks and, tried to sort of send in their messages in their own way. But we taught them that being a responsible citizen, you cannot actually put in your comments or remarks or disturb a class. We are here to teach you, you're here to take. And we don't know for how long this is going to continue. So I would say that, yes, with all our hiccups, we did settle down to a system which continued for a good number of months, over 1.5 years, actually, come to think of it.
Thank you, ma'am, for elaborating on the initial reaction of the children and the parents and the professors. Yes, we are now, digital is a part and parcel of our life, whether we are in the now normal or whether we were shocked by this tiny virus. But digital is a part and parcel of the life, and very soon that the courses will be taught as a corporate digital responsibility, just like CSR, corporate social responsibility. And from your deliberation, few things are very pertinent that come out, that always one should think out of the box and getting out of the conventional thinking. The moment you accept the change and perceive it as a normal things that is happening with the life, then you can make the transition very faster than others.
Right.
And you feel comfortable, and that would not rise their anxiety or depression, what we say. And you have to realize and embrace the change. So, and also you should be a continuous learner. So these are the very important lessons that come out of your deliberations, which I'm sure the students are noting down. Now,
Yes.
Given this context, everything has changed, not only because of this COVID-19, because this is a very recent event, but if we look back from 2011, slowly this change are being in the system, infused in the system with the development of information and communication technology. Now, given this backdrop, as a reputed educator, how have you seen the change in the education over the last 10 years?
Well, if I'm looking at change in education in the last 12 years, the way of thinking about education, the way of thinking the role education plays for a future, for the career options of a child, have definitely undergone a sea change. Go back to our days when we were told very categorically that, you have what is called a humanities stream, you have a commerce stream, and you have a science stream, right? And I think it was the average thought process of every person in Bengal to think that without science, there was no options open. If you took science and then you decided that this was not really a subject, you had other options open. Okay, but that thought process actually changed. Because I came from predominantly a school which had let's put it, a humanities stream as college thing, social science stream really as a college, and did not have either commerce or science to back it, that is Loreto College. We were actually looking at things in a different way. I remember once going up to my principal and asking this particular girl has done well in psychology, but why have you not given her an admission into the psychology stream? And she told me, look here, she has done well in psychology, but she's predominantly a science student, right? And we are actually a social science college, and we have to look at children. Maybe the humanities stream at that time did not give you those high marks as later on when they came up to par with the other subjects. And she said, I have to look at students who have done psychology, who have had a steady, marks in their performance, and therefore they need to get the options first before maybe a science student who's already scored and would like to study psychology. If she is looking at psychology as a subject which she wants to specialize in, if she had biology to back her, I would have said, okay. But she has other subjects which have the higher marks like mathematics, physics, and chemistry. And she is opting for psychology. I will definitely keep her in my mind, but she will not be on the first list. This is what the principal then had told me. That's the way we looked at, career options, subject options. Then we didn't study a subject because it would lead us to a career. We looked at certain things. So if you looked at a college which was predominantly providing humanities subjects, the first option was go for English honors. Whether I wanted to go, whether I had an option in future for it or not, that was not the point. The point was, let's go for one option. The best would be English. And then, you had it in different, down the stream. And then when actually psychology was introduced and economics was introduced into the college subjects, the college started expanding. Then other options came in. Okay, not English, but we're definitely not going to do political science because we don't know what it all was about. And if you ask the child, why did you take English honors? What for? Because I want to do journalism. Are you going to write? I asked one student once, I had asked her, how many articles come out in page 2 or 3 on Wordsworth, on Keats, on Dickens, or on anything on English? You have to know how to frame a sentence correctly, and you must know, what is called writing English, journalistic English. But you need a subject on which you should actually specialize. So if you want to go in for journalism, as you say, you don't need to do English honors. You need to actually do, say, political science. You could be a political analyst. You could be an economist, and you're writing on economic situations in the country. You could also be a page 3 journalist. You could be a sports journalist. So what do you need to do English honors for? Why I'm quoting this example is because once upon a time, these little, details were never given to students because career counseling was really not there. In fact, when I came to South City International School, this is what I found. Here was a principal who was very forward thinking. He believed that if you had to guide a child for a career option, you had to actually see what the potential the child had. Make the child realize his interest and potential. He's not going to take a subject of study or a stream of study because his father told him to or his mother told him to. He was going to do it because he wanted to do it, because he found that potential in him. He discovered it. Maybe he thought of something else, but his career guidance counselor, this is what I found in details that was working here. And that's where I found that there was a definite shift in the entire way of looking at your future.
Thank you. You have correctly shed light on the changes happened in the education, as it is correctly shared that the age is predominantly characterized by personification.
Yes.
So that means it's a choice-based course, and perhaps this has been looked at for few years ago, before COVID also. And as a result of that, this new education policy has come out, wherein the major focus is given on choice-based subject. And you have correctly pointed out, I can relate to my example. When I used to be an engineering student, we used to have, when I was appearing at joint entrance, there are options like for science students, either go for general stream, like science honors BSc, or you go for either medical science or you go for engineering. So these are the three options available. But those days, what you have said is very pertinent, that we were never given any career counseling per se. We were never told that apart from medical, apart from engineering or general common stream, there are different streams like agricultural technology, like your weather technology. And these days, these are some unconventional yet so powerful area of jobs, opportunities. Somebody may be very good at mathematics. They can be absorbed in weather technology forecasting, because climate change is one of the major issues these days. And organizations are looking at someone who is very good at mathematics and analytics and can forecast the weather, and scientists. India is requiring a good number of scientists in those areas, like dairy technology, and this of late, when I was the MBA students, I found that these NGOs are our biggest source of recruiters. So there are so many social reforms are being taking place, and organizations are not taking CSR as their legal activities, but they are embracing CSR activities as a mandatory part of their operations.
Absolutely.
As a result of that, they are appointing NGOs to work to carry out the social projects with a huge fund, and the social organizations are very much recruiting. I can remember this Akshay Patra case study when we used to study in engineering management days. I was surprised. So you have correctly pointed out, madam, for these issues. That
Can I just button a little bit, sir?
Yes.
Even the concept of the NGO has changed.
Exactly.
That's what I want to know. Once upon a time, you thought about, oh, it's a non-governmental organization.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just about tottering and saving itself,
Right.
Today, the entire concept of running an NGO, working in an NGO, being a part of an NGO is a matter of pride.
Exactly.
And actually, there is a lot of options, and the options are as wide as the horizon is.
Exactly.
It's a question of how you identify and what you want to pick up and what you would like to do.
And every one of us must be appreciating that the way Mumbai Dabbawala is operating like a professional, like professional bodies, and they require students, like young students, to join their hands. And everything has become a professional thing, how to handle the situation professionally for the betterment of the society. So all this has changed, you have correctly said. And as a matter of fact, there are three things are prevailing over the entire market: technology, psychology, and sociology. These three are forming the triangle which we need to, the young students, young minds need to uphold as the days to come. And yes, you have fantastically given a opportunity like journalism, that career counseling. And these days, content is the king. The more we carry out the battle over the digital space, the correct content, the correct way of preaching is the mandate these days. And there are so many job opportunities available. Madam, I think you must appreciate that in our childhood days and in your early career days, that washing powder Nirma was the very jingle we used to have, Ghar Ghar Mein Nirma. And those contents are now changing, and these contents are day by day becoming more important to reach to the household, to reach to the customers.
Absolutely.
There are as you said, that English honors is not just for school service commission examination. It has a lot of implications, provided you have a lot of imagination.
Absolutely.
So thank you, madam, for touching. Now, when it is coming to the question of new age opportunities, job opportunities, we are very much privileged to have Ms. Pragya Biswas among us, who has been in this field for quite long years, and she has also seen the change that had happened in the mindset of the employers in the actual employment area. So I would now request Pragya to just shed light on that, how has employment concept has changed, and what the employers are looking at, and what are the unconventional yet so powerful job opportunities available.
Thank you, Professor Viswas. It was really nice hearing out Madam Swati Nandidatta. The way you have asked the question that what are the new age opportunities and how employers are looking at the upcoming employees while they are recruiting and the new age job opportunities. I would like to say that there has been a transitional shift. There has been a paradigm shift in the mindset of the employers, right from changing themselves from the recruitment pattern they are following with taking the next step with the opportunities that they are coming up through the transitional shift that is happening in the industrial market, and also the sectoral explosion that is happening. So if we have to talk about the new age job opportunities, we would say that, as you correctly pointed out, that content, yes, content marketing is one of the booming job opportunities for any fresh graduate to look at, wherein be it in an ad agency or in a digital marketing agency, content is the main point wherein the message can be communicated. So a student who has an English background can look at content marketing, or can look at technical content writing, wherein the IT companies predominantly prefer English graduates for technical content writing, and the ad agencies, and if you talk about your digital marketing agencies, they look at English background for content. Who can create solid content punched with creativity. So once a student who has to choose a particular career for himself or herself has to identify what is his or her skill set. Based on that, he or she needs to align with the current age, new age market opportunities. If I have to talk about, you say, a student who is good at painting, but their parents might think that pursuing a career in creative arts, specifically in the painting part, might not yield his or her child to have a prosperous career. But if you can align it to a professional career like a fashion designing, or you talk about I would say graphic designing, so your creative part of your painting or drawing can be punched with the technical aspect, where you can make a career in a professional manner in the graphic designing field or in the fashion designing field. Like just for an example, like Big Fours, you talk about PwC, you talk about Deloitte, KPMG, they hire graphic designers, multimedia background students for their organizations. So a student who has a very good knack or a skill set in the painting or in the creative drawing part can choose a career in multimedia, creative design, graphic design, and create a career path for himself or herself in the Big Fours, which is like having a proper professional career. At the same time, if we have to talk about new age career opportunity, digital marketing, yes, this time everything is digital, and after this, the explosion of COVID, everything has changed into the digital format. So digital marketing is one of the booming career option for any upcoming fresh graduate. Analytics, yes, analytics is the future. So everything is data driven. Every single decision taken by any organization of any sector, be it an educational organization, be it an FMCG, retail, you talk about IT, every sector is data driven, and they take their decision or strategy by analyzing the current pattern of data or the events that are happening across their sectors. So analytics is one of the upcoming new age career opportunities. One more thing I would like to throw light on, if we think about the rural market, there has been a great explosion on the rural market. A great development has happened in the rural market. So rural marketing, rural development is again one of the, so what is happening, you know, there are lot many new age job opportunities available, but there the information is there, but there is not a single person who can cater that information to the upcoming fresh students to identify themselves, to align themselves accordingly. We know that a lot of information is there in the Google. We search in the Google and we find a lot of information explosion, but we need a proper guidance to understand which particular career path is suitable for us. It might happen that my friend is pursuing analytics, so I would also be doing analytics. That cannot be the solution. If I follow what my friend is doing or what my parents are suggesting me to follow, considering the current upsurge in the job opportunities, I might fail. Rather, I have to understand what is my skill set that is going to help me to capitalize in my future life. So first identify the skill set, and then accordingly align your academic background with your skill set and pursue a proper career, which will help you to have a proper career growth in your life. So the employers are also looking for people who are very creative and very up to date with the upcoming events that are happening across the sectors. So you have to identify that what is my strength, and I can align my strength to that particular career path so that I can upgrade myself in the long run. And finally, to end my statement, I would say that any employers, I would say any employers specifically looking for people who are eager to learn, because they think that every employers know that a student, an aspiring professional is like a mud, so that mud can be shaped in a proper craft. So you have to understand that you have to have that eagerness to learning, so that once any employer pick you up, they can mold you as per your skill set, matching their organizational requirement. That's where you can actually progress in your career. So that's what I have to share my thoughts from my end. Over to you, Professor Biswas.
Thank you, Pragya, for highlighting some of the prominent areas. As you have correctly said, that there is no point in thinking that there is a dearth of job opportunities. There is no dearth of job opportunities. Provided you identify your strength and you align yourself right from the school days towards your achievement, toward your goals. And here the parents and the educators are playing a major role. As a matter of fact, I can summarize your talk that everyone nowadays has to be a techno-managerial person with human values and social orientation. So that's what in a short way, or in a one-liner, we can summarize. And we have also seen that people are even earning a lot of crores of money by posting the YouTube blogs. So blogs are even very good opportunities for one who can earn as a consultant or like that. We've gone are those days where people are buying mobile phones by looking at the specifications only. People are looking at the unboxing of the mobile phone. And there are few persons who are basically famous in demonstrating the unboxing and giving their remarks, and people are getting influenced by them. So influencing marketing is one of the area there the job opportunities are there, and there you don't require any kind of this traditional knowledge. You only require to ideate and deliver your talk. You have correctly said. Now, more we delve into these requirements or the opportunities, one thing is coming out. People has to start very early. Maybe just after the age where people understand what is what, let's say class 5 or class 6, the parents have an important role to play to understand the strength of the student and channelize them. In other words, maybe we need to follow the Finland model, where students are classified right at the beginning age, and Indian reputed institutes are doing that. They have a mandate, as Madam was saying, Professor Datta was saying, that they had a dedicated career counseling center, where they identify the inner potential of the students.
I want to add something over here. I'm
Yeah.
sorry to butt in. We have this career counseling session twice because you
Yes.
said we need to begin early in life.
Yes, yes, yes.
So we have this thing. We have this first session is when the children enter class 8.
Yes.
Because they're making a decision, they're coming into 9, 10, 11, 12. So you have to start thinking very early in life. Okay.
Right.
And certain areas seem very simple up to class 10 because, you know, you don't need too much of critical thinking, analysis, application. You can do it a lot. Our syllabus is such, you know, throughout the country, there is very little scope for application as such and more for, you know, learning by rote. And therefore you produce a fantastic result, say at the end of 10. And then the next option is that okay, naturally we go in for science, but we don't know whether we have it in us to do science. Okay, so therefore that early bird, as you would say, option of taking a career counseling at the class at 8 sometimes is definitely questioned by many parents in our school also. Why now? But that's when you are trying to actually know something which is hidden within that child, and the child also doesn't know anything about it. Okay, child is discovering, and therefore will keep an open mind about it. And then you have it again in class 11. So as you said, Professor Biswas, it's correct. You've gone a little ahead, and I would agree with you there too. Parents should be actually identifying where are the interests. What does this child tinker with most of the time? With books of what type? And therefore with objects, ideas. Why does this person, you know, dismantle toys and then put it back together? Because toy making industry is a huge industry today. It has terrific potential. Did we identify this thing in the child right in the beginning, that he dismantles things and puts things together or makes something new, right? I won't disturb you anymore, sir. Please continue,
No.
but pardon me for, you know, coming in this way.
No.
We have it in 2 stages. Yes.
You have correctly mentioned that. Thank you so much for just reinstating what I was about to say, that these things are absolutely required. And of course, I am a father of a 3.5 years old child. So it's that it's not that you have to read the books, get 95, 99%, 99 percentile. It is all about that a decent education or identifying the inner strength where you can really do expertise, where you can build your expertise and can build your career. And as a matter of fact, we are belonging to Calcutta Business School. There is the management education sector. We tell the students that no matter what is your background, you can have this MBA or PGDM is just an umbrella where many streams can join together, because ultimately at the end of the day, you need to not only need to know your potential or your doables, but you have to also tell upfront. You have to also express that. You have to also manage professionally to that. And there lies the importance of management education. As a matter of fact, gone are those days when people used to think that doing engineering or stream and doing MBA, companies will run after me and I will be treated as the superior citizen in the marketplace, be it in the marriage kind of thing or be it in the society. Gone are those days. Now management is all about how do I apply? Whatever knowledge I have, how do I apply that? So that's why even psychology students are also doing management, because industrial psychology is something very important these days. Now, whatever is the options, as we are fortunate to have you among us, the mandate is start early. Now there is a role of higher education institute with the schools and undergraduate colleges, and they form a seamless connection right from the childhood, incorporating other stakeholders like parents and government. Now, in this context, I am very curious, and I am getting tempted to ask you that how do you think that the schools, this undergraduate college and this postgraduate college like ours, should work, or what would be the modality so that they prepare the students right from the childhood days? This is my question.
We already have the system where we have an industry education connect. Okay, we have colleges either online, because of during the pandemic it all came in an online mode. You are here today. We have our student body here from the student council who are listening in. Okay, and we have them, we encourage them to attend as many webinars as possible. Now, because of the lifting of the lockdown, we have been having also people who have come from different organizations, different career organizations. We have had our representatives who've come in from the US, UK. You see, we are not only introducing them to things which are in the country, we are also introducing others to options abroad and what are their requirements more than whether they're going to go abroad or not. In which way are these children going to be prepared for a world which is uncertain, volatile? Okay, it's complex and it's also ambiguous, VUCA. So we are actually preparing these children. Nobody should think that having these sessions with either foreign universities, Indian universities, you people who are coming in to, talk to our children, somebody is listening and it is working in the minds of somebody, even if it is 10%, but it is working. Another group will come and the next 10% will possibly be lending that year. So you are the ones who are actually introducing our senior students, 9 upwards, I would say, 10, 11, 12, definitely, to a world which is outside. Because to them, they are still under the umbrella of we parents, and we parents actually are a little limited. If I'm a parent, so I'm telling you that also. I used to always tell my daughter, don't think about what you're going to do tomorrow when you graduate out of college or out of, your post-graduation. Think about what the world scenario will be 15 years hence. That's where you fit in actually. And this 15 years, what you're going to do is you're going to work for that scenario. If you feel that it's not going to work out, you have adequate time to make your changes. Okay, and that is what actually, if parents did that, it would help. So we are now taking the place of parents, school is taking. You have to have, a leadership which is visionary, which thinks beyond just the immediate. This is what we see in our principal, sir. And because he's also changed our mindset, he's also encouraged us. We've changed with him to think in a different way. Okay, don't prepare them for tomorrow what they are going to do. Tomorrow they will do, tomorrow is there. What are we going to do? How will tomorrow lead on to the future? So you are correct in what you say. We are doing it, and I'm sure there are plenty of schools which are thinking in this way, also doing it. And we are very grateful to you, thankful to you that you come to us and we can then expose this to our children.
Thank you, Madam. And you have rightly said that that not only thinking for 2 years down the line, but one has to think 10 years down the line.
Absolutely.
And as a matter of fact, you touched a very personal thinking of myself, that I am now looking at this, sitting at this 2022, I'm thinking that what would be the changing in the pedagogy or the syllabus in 2032. And I'm incorporating certain changes in my style, or I am studying so that I can be still relevant in 2032. So every one of us, I'm sure, those who are forward looking has to think in that way. And you have said correctly that VUCA, I perceive it as that someone who really wants to do excel in their life has to be very visionary. They have to have a vision in that. And with that vision, they have to think unconventional. That is the U. And one has to be very collaborative. That is, collaboration is the mandate these days, as we are discussing that schools and higher education institutes are, along with the other stakeholders like parents, government, and industry. Collaboration is required to build a inclusive ecosystem for inclusive growth. And ultimately, right attitude is the important thing. One has to have the right attitude at the end of the day. So this discussion, personally feeling, I would have been continue these discussions for prolonged time, because I'm really personally feeling very fortunate to interact with Professor Swati Nandadat, because frankly speaking, I do believe that the development happens at the school level.
Absolutely.
And this development people encash at the postgraduate level and the rest of the life. The value system, the development, the thinking, whatever is instilled in the student, that the student is basically cherishing or encashing in their rest of the life. So that's why whenever I get a chance to interact with schools or assistant principal like Madam, I feel myself as a fortunate person, that I look back to that, what I done wrong, or what lesson I can take from this discussion to incorporate for betterment of my child. So I personally take this opportunity as a very fortunate fortune for me. Now, I would now go for taking few questions from the participants. But before we go, so long we are discussing, so I request our technical team to just play the very small video of our beautiful campus once. And meanwhile, I request the participants to prepare your questions. I think this kind of webinar is a blessing in disguise, because you have the chance to meet reputed persons for asking your questions. So participants, I request, please write your question in the chat box or prepare. Meanwhile, we see the video.
If excelling is your essence, then you are welcome to Calcutta Business School. Center of Excellence. Centered on excellence.
It all started in the year 1920 when some eminent industrialists of Kolkata founded the Marwari Balika Vidyalaya. Later, in 1954, Sri Shikshathan School was founded, and in 1955, Sri Shikshathan College came into being with the objective of further propagating quality education to girls. All these institutions have continued to excel under the management of the Shikshathan Foundation.
It has been guided by industrialists like President Mr. S.K. Birla, Director Emeritus, Birla Brothers Private Limited, Mr. Siddharth Birla, Vice President, Mr. G.K. Khaitan, Trustee and President of Shikshathan College, Mr. R.S. Goenka, Trustee and MD of Imami Group, and many other reputed industrialists. The Secretary General of the Foundation is Mrs. Brotuti Bhattacharya.
Greetings. I would like to speak a few words about our institution, the Shikshathan Foundation. The year was 1920, when some of my forefathers thought that female education needed to be propagated much more actively than was the custom in those days. And we donated from our family 2 buildings in the heart of Bada Bazaar for the girl child to be educated there. That institution is still working. The latest addition to our bouquet of institutions has been the Calcutta Business School, which was started a few years ago on a 15-acre plot of land and not very far away from IIM Calcutta.
Calcutta Business School offers an AICTE approved, autonomous, 2-year full-time residential program on postgraduate diploma in management, majoring in subjects like finance, marketing, IT, operations and human resource. But it's the unique cluster of courses that sets it apart. Interactive and intuitive games like management game and stock market simulation game. It also puts heavy emphasis on data handling and business analytics and uses databases and software like CMIE Prowess, MetaStock, R, and SAP.
Kolkata is the city of joy. It is the cultural capital of India, a city which has its soulful embodiment of culture, love, mystery, respect, and enthusiasm. A city that upholds a perfect juxtaposition between the old world and the modern one. It has given us many Nobel laureates over the years. It has iconic institutes like the Calcutta University, the National Library, Presidency University, Bishwa Bharati, IIM Calcutta, and many such legendary institutes. Calcutta Business School's AICTE approved PGDM program is carrying forward this rich legacy of Kolkata.
Thank you, Sunil, for playing this video. As a matter of fact, as Madam was talking and we were reinstating time and again, we have also introduced analytics, rural management, and most importantly, the family business and entrepreneurship and education management in our course curriculum, looking at the requirement in the marketplace. Now it's my time to take questions. I can see that Rishabh, Suchismita, Momita, they are all in the panelist. Arushi, you can just, if you have any questions, you can ask by one by just unmuting yourself. To start with, if anyone has any question in the panelist mode, they can ask these questions or express their opinions. I can see Arushi, Suchismita, Momita, they are all there in this these things.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes.
So I don't have any questions, but I'd just like to say thank you for the great session. It was great to get so many different insights, both from Swati ma'am as an educationist and from Ms. Prajna from the employer's perspective. And I've taken some things down, which I'm sure everybody has. Sir mentioned that technology, psychology, and sociology have taken over the market, along with content creation and the insight from the employer's point of view, such as eagerness to learn, creativity, techno-managerial mindset with great social skills, was also very interesting. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Arushi, for pointing out. I can see that few hands are raised. So I go back to Srishti. If you have any question or any opinion.
Good afternoon, everyone. I don't have any question, but I just want to give the feedback to thank you for this wonderful session. It was a great help. It just made us a preparation for the future.
Thank you, Srishti. Surely, and this relationship with South City International School will go on. And collaboratively, we will organize many such sessions, and if permits that in physical mode also, because as we have understood from the deliberations that it is required to have collaboration of the schools and higher education institutes along with the industry to for the holistic development of the students. Now I go back to Rishabh. Do you have any questions or opinions?
Yes, so thank you so much for the wonderful session. First of all, it was really insightful, and I did take some points down. So definitely, I feel like the structure of education as we know it, it's changing. And definitely now it's gone from like just 3 coherent, distinctive streams. It's become more mixed, it's become more diffused. And I think that that helps a lot in understanding the education system from a liberal arts perspective. As a student who's studying biology and history together, I definitely understand and value the aspect of liberal arts. And I definitely feel like it gave us a very good opportunity to explore our career options. And with that, I actually have a question. So
Yes.
So there are so many opportunities that we have now, that we are open to now. So how can we actually navigate through all the opportunities that we have to make an informed decision and an informed choice about our career path?
So to answer to Bishop's question, may I now request Professor Dutt to throw light that his question is very valid, that how one can navigate these things.
Rishabh, when you are thinking about a future and you have so many options open to you, actually you're looking at a career. So what are the criteria that you're going to keep in mind when you make a choice? Okay. Are you going to choose a career because it's a safe option, where you have no interest? Or do you think of choosing a career which comes with a big packet? Because after some time, you'll get bored with that packet also, if you're not happy with what you're doing. Keep in mind that when you're choosing your career, you're choosing something which comes straight from your heart. Okay? You're choosing a career because it interests you. You're choosing your career because it keeps on picking at your intellect to exercise it further. You're choosing a career because you want to find out and give the world something new that you made out of the existing things, that you're not going to run it as a mill, run of the mill. What is it that is actually, helping you? Of course, the package is there. Nobody can say, I'm going to work for nothing. But the question is it giving you satisfaction? Are you feeling excited about it? And for how long is that excitement going to last? Okay? And therefore, you keep not only improving your qualifications, but also your mindset. Because both mind as well as your body work together. And that's where you can make a difference. Have I answered you, Rishabh?
Yes, ma'am, definitely. It was a wonderful answer. Thank you so much, ma'am.
There is an opportunity for digital, but there is an problem with the digital also, that people are designated as SBRM, Suchishmita name, and without knowing that what he or she is at what position or these things. And I call everyone by name. Suchishmita has raised hand, so you may have any question or any opinion. Suchishmita.
Thank you to all the teachers and professors for this wonderful session. It was really insightful. So before moving on to the question which I have, again, I'm very thankful because the first thing which I learned from this webinar is that we students must understand ourselves firstly and our potential. And choosing a career for ourselves actually means opting for something which we love. And as Professor Biswas pointed out, that it is we have to find a way to express ourselves through our chosen path as well, not only choosing a path which just helps naturally. So now coming to my question, sir, if you could just highlight on how the world is like at this point on the stance of computer science and its prospects on it.
Computer science
and its corollaries, or
you see that as Poka was, I would forward this question to Poka for some throwing some light. But before I forward this, let me tell you from my experience is that when I started my engineering, we used to have MS-DOS. And I am a very reluctant kind of person who is working with software programming, doing coding and solving the problem. I love to solve the problem and analyze the problem, but not just crippled by these codes only. So I'm a very awkward coder. But now at my age, after working 18 years in the industry and is academics, now I'm learning Python. Because it is not that Python is a very buzzword in the market, so to say, but I find that this has a very interest and there are many applications in solving social problems. So given your computer science background, whatever is it is evident from the discussion, whatever be your background, identify your strength area, and computer science is one of the area which can be applicable to everything, be it a genome analysis in biology. Like after COVID-19, we have heard this term quite frequently, genome analysis. Be it like you go to any locality, crime analysis. These days, criminology is important area. Crime analysis, the motive of the crime. Be it with the climate analytics, that every now and then we are threatened with so many cyclones, severe cyclones. But every year, and it is said that due to the global warming, no other options would be available other than facing these cyclones. So there is climatology, soil analytics. So everywhere is data is being generated, and we are generating quintillion byte data every day. So computer science background, you can go to different other fields. As a matter of fact, after 18 years and so to say learning, I'm sure that madam would be along with me because she is more experienced than me, that education is something that converges to a point. From different way, you just converges to a point. And I can iterate the word of our Guru Sri Ramakrishna Dev, Jato Mat Tato Path. So there are many ways, but ultimately it converges to a point, fulfilling your job in a better way and satisfying your goals and reaching your goals. So Pragya, just throw a light on the computer science background from the professional point of view.
So yeah, on the from the part of computer science as a career opportunity, yes, yes, there are opportunities, lot of opportunities with in the computer science background and domain. With the explosion of COVID-19, yes, the opportunity in the IT sector has opened up more, to be specific. But one point one has to keep in mind that in computer science background, if you have to remain relevant to the industry and if you have to progress yourself every moment, you have to keep yourself updated and upgraded. So you have to update yourself and upgrade your knowledge every moment so that you can remain relevant to the industry requirement and you can progress in your career. Else you will find that you will become saturated and a time will come your relevance as a candidate within the organization will booze out in due course of time. So as a professional opportunity, job opportunity with the computer science background, yes, there are a lot of job opportunities. The employment opportunity post COVID-19 in the IT sector has upsurged, but with COVID-19, the job opportunity must have upsurged in the IT industry, but the relevance of a candidate in the industry has become more important if he or she cannot keep himself or herself updated and upgraded. So you have to keep yourself updating and upgrading with the new technologies that are coming each and every time so that you can remain relevant to the industry. That's I have to say about it.
As it is said that techno-managerial with human values and social orientation. That is the only buzzword these days. No other choice is there. And it's not that only coding or computer science is all about applications in analytics. And it is said that around 15 billion job opportunity per year would be generated starting from 2023 in the country like India. So you are understanding
and yes,
what is the market.
With computer science background, people who want to get into analytics, if they have a computer science background, it becomes easier for them to have a hold on the subject and at the same time apply his or her knowledge in a proper way and make a career, to just reinstate Professor Biswas's point. So it's not only that coding and decoding. Computer science has come out of that coding and decoding. It has many options, right from soil analysis to climate analysis to your marketing analysis, wherein retail industry, how it is happening, what is the footfall in the retail outlet and how it is next strategy is being designed, right from climate analysis everywhere. This computer science background has to have an input to move forward. So that's what my input on this.
it is also that I just sum up this thing that the person who has done commerce background, has BCom or MCom, a commerce background. I mean, these days, your BSc, Bombay Stock Exchange, is running a program called rumor analytics. That means it is not that the historical data will tell you the pure coding or analytics. It is all about to understand the investor psychology. And in our institute, we call it as a psychology of the data. So there also you have an applications of, so it's all about this, how do I apply my knowledge in the domains, and there lies the job opportunity. So it is already 1 hour past. So thank you all the panelists for your expert deliberations. I'm sure the students have learned. I can see from Pakistan, Mr. Gulam Raja has joined. He has shared his email ID also. So that is, I mean, this kind of session we will again conduct. And I don't have any words to express my sincere thanks to Professor Sati Nandi Dutt, because her deliberation opened a lot of things. And personally, I have learned many things from her. It is a very rare opportunity to interact with her. And I would request, madam, whenever you get time out of your busy schedule, please do come to our campus for our knowledge sharing sessions. Your experience matters a lot to us. And also I thank my own colleague, Pragya. Always she is up to date, updated and upgraded. And that's why she is pressing to the student to upgrade. So upgrade EdTech is there, upgraded and updated. So this kind of session we will again organize, but for the time being, stay safe, stay well, and thank you so much for joining this session. We would again love to
Calcutta Business School. Thank you, Professor Sanjeev Biswas. Thank you, Pragya Bishash. Thank you, Madhu Sripal, and thank you all members of Calcutta Business School for having me there, for allowing me to share my ideas. I hope somewhere I've made some impact on some person. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.